Hello Virgo, and welcome to Sincere Tarot, where you get the raw, honest truth. This is your mid-June tarot check-in, and your theme for mid-June is the Six of Cups, nostalgia, familiarity, childhood. So hopefully this is positively aspected, because you'll be just thinking about the good times in the past, nostalgia, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in your childhood. It can just be things in the past, okay? And it can be, and you know, a lot of us are locked up right now, and so we might be thinking about even the great times we had last summer and things like that. All right, I'll pull some cards and we shall see what you need to know for mid-June. But before I pull these cards, if you could please hit that subscribe button. It's just one little thing that you can do that would help me out so much. If you like my videos, I would super appreciate it so much. Okay, let's get to your reading. What does Virgo need to know for mid-June? All right, well, it's something that has to do with the past that's going to be emotionally disappointing, but it's not the be-all, end-all, okay? I just kind of feel like, I usually pull these clarifying cards a bit later, but I'm just going to pull them now. All right, so, okay, so right now, I feel like you're not doing that much activity. You're probably staying more at home, or at least connecting more with family members. There are probably certain responsibilities and things that you've kind of put on the back burner. And you might have a strong Aries influence, but at the end of the day, there is this part of you that knows that you need to kind of get back to work. And you have the experience, and you know you're not fulfilling your potential right now in that regard, but you definitely are capable of doing that. There's going to be some sort of a message, something that's going to emotionally affect you, all right? And you are going to feel some sort of emotional disappointment. It has something to do with the past relationships. There was a big wish. So in the past leading into this, we've got the Nine of Cups, which is the wish card. And it may have been something to do with that was emotionally fulfilling, potentially a relationship or work or something like that. There was a lot of hope. There was a lot of passion, okay? So it could have been also someone that you had, you know, good sex with and things like that, potentially. But it hasn't gone the way that you wanted it to. You know, you have the strength to have a good relationship, in this area, whether it's, you know, romantic, friendship, family, business, whatever it is. There's just too much negative energy, and there's just I feel like mentally you've given up. Even if you were to get like a positive message about something that would be emotionally fulfilling, that would be romantic, I just feel like mentally you're not in a good place right now. It's like you've given up, but that's because any message of love, right, is kind of being blocked by the Five of Swords and Minor Arcana, right? And Swords, it's all in your head. And then Five are the most transient. So even if right now you have a really poor attitude towards any positive messages about love or anything that's emotionally fulfilling, you know, I just feel like you're not going to hear it, but just know that's because it's in your head. It doesn't mean that it's actual reality. Whatever this is that's happening, like, you are going to be disappointed. The outcome is the Four of Cups, okay? But again, Minor Arcana, and it's more like just holding on to it's also a really negative way of looking at things, because in the Four of Cups, there's always one cup that's upright, even though, you know, maybe you feel like things have been so horrible and you've been so disappointed in love. There's always hope, but it's just, your mindset is just so not in a good way right now. And that might have something to do with just like in your childhood, like were you upset by loving members of your family in your childhood, and are there certain patterns that are repeating? I definitely see that. At the end of the day, I think you can actually use this emotional disappointment as inspiration to move forward, and maybe for some sort of a creative project. I know you're emotionally disappointed, but this will tap you into your creative spark, creative spirit, and you might even want to express yourself on social media or written word, or just something that people can communicate with. So that would be cool. And I feel like you may, and I hope that you do a little bit of diving deep and learning about the dark side of yourself rather than just trying to ignore it and move on. Let's get some advice cards, and definitely stick around for your destiny cards, okay? So advice cards. You've definitely, okay, have been, I feel like, disappointed in love and relationships and just whatever the situation that's going on in mid-June. Your advice card is the Wheel of Fortune. Things can always change at any point, at any moment in time. So just never get too stuck in your head like, oh, things have been like this before, so they're always going to be like this. No, not at all. Things can always change. The wheel of fate always turns, and never in the way that we expect normally. Second advice card, we've got the Empress. So you really want to treat yourself. You really want to treat yourself like a queen. You are a queen. Even if you're a male, that means you also have to kind of like get in touch with the feminine side, okay, just for this one. And that includes treating yourself, okay? So just continue to find the things in life that you find beautiful and find joy in that beauty. Third advice card, Princess of Cups. Be open to romantic gestures. Be open emotionally. Just be open to receiving love rather than mentally blocking. You've got to open your heart again, okay? And listen to the messages coming from the universe. And that's being extra confirmed because we've got fourth advice card is the High Priestess. Listen to your dreams, pay attention to synchronicities, maybe keep a synchronicity journal or a dream journal to see patterns. You are constantly receiving messages from the universe nudging you in the correct direction. You've got the intuition, you just need to be open to hearing it, open to receiving it, okay? It's like tuning the dial of the radio to the station that you'll receive the messages. So you need to change your vibration to be able to receive that, okay? And if that means like going for a run, going for a jog, whatever it is to like open your mind and your heart, like you've got to do that, okay? Because you don't want to be miserable, you know what I mean? You don't want to be stuck in your head, and you can 100% get out of that, but you've got to dive deep, okay? You've got to dive deep. You've got to stay open to the fact that life can always change. Be kind to yourself, treat yourself, and be open to receiving those messages intuitively and in your heart, okay? Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3, and you are going to pick your own destiny cards. So please do comment below if you have a nice comment and if this reading has resonated with you so far. So what is it that, you're just stuck with in your head? Like, what is that mindset? What is your mind closed off about? Yeah. But you can always change this. The outcome is a minor arcana. That is very changeable if you take my advice cards, okay? All right. Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. Pick the first number that comes to your head. Never second guess yourself with intuition. If you picked 1. Oh, cool. We've got the 8 of Pentacles on the surface. We've got the 2 of Wands beneath the surface. And we've got the 9 of Cups. So you might be like doing a little bit of planning about the next phase of your life. When you do feel that inspiration in the future, you might want to start planning for something new, a new direction of your life, new territory, things that make you feel alive, creative projects, sometimes has to do with sexuality. And you might just be learning a lot or teaching someone. This can be a mentorship card, and it can have something to do with maybe you're going back to school, upgrading your skills, getting training, things like that. But you're working really hard at something, to learn about something or to teach, or both. And your advice is the 9 of Cups. So and that's to say, I know that you had this wish in the past, okay? And it didn't really turn out the way that you wanted it to. You need to make that wish again, because it will come true, okay? It will, it will, it will. You just need to stay open. Your mind needs to be open. If you pick 2, if you pick 2 on the surface, we've got the 4 of Cups beneath the surface, also the 3 of Cups on the surface, 4 of Cups, luxury beneath the surface, and your advice is the Knight of Pentacles, okay? So I feel like right now you might be kicking back, relaxing, things like that, and maybe you feel like it's emotionally fulfilling, but at the end of the day, I think this could be, shopping. And I have this problem too, because I'll want something and then I feel like I need it, and then I feel that emotional satisfaction, but then it's gone in like a week or so. So I feel like you need to be looking in the right places for things that are actually emotionally fulfilling. And you know what that might be? That might be creating things, okay? It's not just kicking back and enjoying life and, buying this, buying that, doing this thing that's popular or whatever. Those might be a bit more superficial, okay? I think you need to actually start creating, manifesting things. So that could be writing a book, it could be making YouTube videos, it could be just like creating art, it could be anything. I think you need to physically create things to get off your butt and start doing it. If you pick 3, on the surface we've got the 8 of Swords, beneath the surface the Queen of Wands, and your advice is the 3 of Swords. So I feel like you are definitely mentally shut down right now, and there's a lot of tension, and you're really stuck in your way of thinking. There are so many different ways of looking at the situation, so many different perceptions, but you're stuck in your head and you're only picking one. You do have a lot of passion, a lot of creativity, and it's being kind of like bottled up like a volcano that's about to explode. You really need to allow it to be able to not necessarily explode, but you need to be able to express yourself, and you need to talk about past hurt. You need to talk about the time when you were previously betrayed. You need to talk about it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be talking to people. I mean, it could be talking to friends, family, it could be talking to a counselor or just someone, right? But it could also be just writing. You might want to write it down. You might want to just audio record it. I feel like you need to get this energy out, because you have been hurt in the past, you have been betrayed. So whatever it is that you're thinking of, and also, just because you were betrayed before, and I don't mean to say that lightly, it doesn't mean it's going to happen again. I feel like you think that, oh, it's happened this many times before, and it could be cheated on, things like that. That's all in your head. You think that way because you're thinking that way. Thinking, that's it. Doesn't mean it's reality. All right, if you would like a private reading, send me an email or check out my website. That's in the description below. You can also follow me on social media, and definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, because I do monthly and mid-monthly videos. And if you're still here, you get a secret bonus card. All right, one more thing that Virgo needs to know. King of Cups. So you need to be balanced with your head and your heart. Just because you feel an emotional connection towards someone doesn't mean you let anyone in, right? Yes, it's important to be compassionate, but the King of Cups has solid boundaries as well. They're not going to let just anyone in. They're going to put themselves first with the self-love, okay? Have a great month. Bye!